share a passion for politics.
YouTube, what's good? It's your boy, Paul Harris, aka Crazy Off. Hey, guess what? It's your first time tuning in. Go ahead, hit that doggone subscribe button, hit notification bell every time I post up new content. As you can see, I'm actually really uh, trying to get stuff, you know, up and running. Uh, this is a another Freestyle Friday, right? I won't, but at the same time, I really don't want to call it. I mean, I could call it Freestyle Friday, but you know, look, we already know uh, what the latest and greatest is, or as what we used to say, or what one of my section chiefs used to say. You know, uh, when we was in the army, the new hotness. Uh, Brittany, and I talked about this a little bit yesterday. Brittany, Brittany Griner or Grimer, or you know, uh, let's look at it like this. If I'm pronouncing your last name wrong, my apologies, right? But at the same time, you know, I'm just looking at the simple fact that um, all this stuff that's going on, and then all of the stuff what that I've actually already seen on Facebook, what have you, right? And then with this whole swapping of prisoners, or well, whatever the case may be, right? I'm just like, first and foremost, who does that, right? And it's just for the simple fact that I look at the simple fact, and then one of my friends on my Facebook page, yep, I'm doing it up. I'm doing it up, brother. As I just look at it like this. Yes, I am living, or what my mom used to say, I'm tripping the life fantastic. You know, so but I just look at it like, okay, I'm trying to figure out what actually really gives here meaning, right? And come up, my friend, he said it best. He like, okay, well, we can go to war, people get captured, right? And for the most part, nothing is said. Ain't nobody swapping no prisoners. Ain't nobody swapping no prisoners of war, right? But then here it is. We get a so-called basketball player, and yes, I'm calling her a so-called basketball player. But then then swap. You're gonna swap a basketball player for this guy here. He's to my understanding, he's an arms dealer or whatever. Uh, it just, I'm just like, okay, if you gonna, this shit right there. What's good?
What's up?
Not a whole lot. Matter of fact, I was actually like doing my best to kind of like warm up the crowd, if you will. But but I sent the link to Zach. If he comes on, fine. If not, oh well. Right. So well, Let's talk about it. The latest and greatest. Uh, let's talk about the prisoner swap, right? The Brittany Griner and because I was in the gym and I was kind of like working out, and then it was just one of those things that I'm just like I'm trying to work out. And I'm trying to figure out well what the hell they talking about, but I couldn't look at
Right.
all of it. But and so my whole deal is what's how are you looking at this whole thing?
I think along the lines of just my first glance. Yeah, congratulations, all that shit. Yeah, whoop de doo doo doo. But that was the worst trade in American history ever. That trade was garbage. That trade was worse than Philly trading Kobe Bryant to the Lakers. That was the worst trade ever. That was the worst trade of drafting Kwame Brown. I mean, that was worse than the Lakers blocking Chris Paul to play with Kobe.
Yeah,
And if you know me,
so
I mean, I respected Kobe. I wasn't a big Kobe fan, may he rest in peace. But that
mhm.
was a very horrible trade. Just think of all the trades that you could do. I mean, you could do.
But you know what? You know what? It's funny that you say that because um, I was looking at NFL because they had the NFL page that I'm on Facebook, right? They
Right.
was actually like really comparing, like, okay, well, what do you actually like really hold this trade to as far as like the worst trade? And then somebody actually like really came, somebody went way back in the day and they brought up the whole Herschel Walker trade that Dallas did to Minnesota. So
Yeah.
you know,
I mean, if it was one thing that could describe this trade was hot garbage.
mm-hmm.
And the only reason why I'm saying that
Yeah.
is because at this point, I don't know if you're trying to get and I when I speak on LGBTQ element of P issues, yes, I make that joke too.
Mm-hmm.
The shit is funny to me, but I speak for the L and the
Uh-huh.
L only. I don't know what the rest of everybody else do. I'm not extra. I'm not flamboyant. Me and what I do and who I do it with, that's my damn business.
Uh-huh.
So I speak for myself when I say certain things. I don't know if this
We
was
got
a
that Mosaic
political.
here, so what's
I don't know
good?
if this was a political point where he was trying to get the vote or the buy-in of people in my circle for my sexual orientation. But that's trash when you have a veteran sitting over there that's been sitting there and other people that's been sitting there. She could sit her ass over there for a couple more years and wait. It ain't gonna hurt. You knew what you was doing. And then
Yeah.
the fact that you played ball for a Russian team and they still took your ass to a Russian jail. What was you doing over there anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
The fact that, and then another thing, I'm gonna keep it short and sweet.
Uh-huh.
You got a veteran that's over there. You didn't mention him. You didn't include him. There was no protest for him. There was no outrage. You didn't even utter his name.
Uh-huh.
And,
Yeah.
and then at the same time, why do WNBA players have to go overseas to play basketball anyway? Let's that's a whole nother conversation. Yeah, granted, you don't want to see women play, but there are a lot of women that are far better than these subpar men than your sixth man on certain benches.
Yeah.
I know some people that can wipe for some WA teams can wipe out the damn Timberwolves right now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's a few teams they need to go ahead and just call in the WNBA and they just need to switch places. But that's neither here nor there. But the thing is that this was a very horrible political trade. And the thing is, yeah, you did what you did. But over there, America, see, people think that we ain't free. Oh, we free as hell.
Yeah.
We free to make the dumbest damn trades ever. She was a pawn. She was a pawn on a chessboard. And if you ain't been watching for the last couple of years, you just missed the whole damn play.
Yeah. Zach, you there?
I'm here, T.
Okay. All right. So we talking about the we're talking about the most fucked up trade in history. So
Yeah. So
what you,
I'll make a quick statement by it, and it's quite frankly, Smoot had probably the most insight into this, and I get it. But I'm gonna make my statement. It's more like a political statement, or just like a quick sound clip, and it goes something like this. It goes, "Brittany, welcome home, ma'am, welcome home. I hope that you realize how great America truly is. I hope that you understand that. With that being said, to the Biden administration, to the Central Intelligence Agency, to the Department of Defense, what you have just done and facilitated has given foreign actors the idea that holding an American hostage is a good idea. Because all you need is a tourist, all you need is a high profile individual, all you need is an American with some sort of status for your criminal thugs, to be traded like pieces on a board. And that is a precedent that is highly problematic when it comes to the defense of this country. And that is reprehensible, and it's inappropriate, and it's the wrong thing to do. I disagree with it completely, but as an individual and as a person to this young woman who's coming home, I don't know anything about her. I don't know who she is. If I was her, I'd want to come home too. But in the grand scheme of things, you heard my point of view.
yeah.
And she's a wonderful basketball player. Nobody's taking that away from her at all. But
yeah, but what they used her as as a nook,
right?
On
Wrong thing, wrong time. It was just it was just fucking horrible.
But now, if you're in Thailand, if you're in Somalia, if you're in Russia, if you're in China, if you're in some despot country, just snatch up one of us, and then if they catch one of the bad guys, guess what? They'll trade. Of course, maybe we won't, but they set the precedent on a diplomatic level at State Department and up that's the status quo during this administration, and I can't believe they did it. I'm very disappointed.
Okay, well, I got a question.
How about it took 3 years to catch this guy? He was under terrorism charges. He provided weapons to destabilize several countries around the planet. His nickname was the Merchant of Death, the Lord of War, and he was traded for an individual who happens to play basketball. That's the story.
He should have been a part of the damn administration. That sounds like you just described the United States of America. Shit. We the biggest arms dealer.
Yeah.
If you think about it, he just explained some very valuable points about what we do in this country. So maybe it was a little bit more deeper than you think. Maybe he was teaching us, or we was teaching him. Which one?
No, hold on. I got a question.
Hey, there's always pay for play.
Hey.
I got a question I want to ask y'all, right? Because
you got to get yours before I get mine.
Right. If I was Russian, if you think like a Russian, how would you look at this? Because it's a win-win for them.
Yeah. So.
Oh no! For the Russians, it's a win-win.
It's a party. I'm throwing a party right now. If I'm in Russia, I'm telling you. If I'm a Russian, I'm going to my fucking my equivalent to the TSA and looking for anybody with an American passport to snatch their ass up, because apparently one of these equals one of those, which is preposterous. And I honestly, I can't believe it. But what I do feel bad about, and I need to really say this because I felt this in my heart this morning. I was on a radio show this morning, Bubba the Love Sponge in Tampa, Florida, and they were having quite an in-depth political conversation about her. And they're like, "Oh, this fucking she brought drugs, and she did this, and she did that." And I said, "Listen, if it was you in Russia, would you want to come home?" What I'm trying to say is like the individual attacks on her
I'm not really with it.
It's pointless. It's fucking pointless.
Because if it was you who had a hash pin, you'd want to come home.
You'd
She's a
want to come
basketball
home.
player. She's trying to make money. She's this, she's that, and make no mistake, she's an American citizen. However, your diplomatic ineptitude to swap and trade and negotiate at this level with a fucking arms dealer that was the most wanted man in the world, that is incredibly egregious. It's inappropriate. It can't happen. But if you're this young woman, they're putting her in the fucking crosshairs, and it's like, first of all, just leave her alone. What you really should be looking at is this fucking incompetence in the White House, which incompetence would be a good thing, but I think it's more than incompetence. I think it might be nefarious. It might be negative. It might be, I'm not going to use the other adjectives, but I'll just stop ranting.
It don't make no sense. Hold on, let me ask you this. They're gonna continue to drag her for years to come. They're gonna and it's gonna be horrible. But it has nothing to do with her, and that's what the average person isn't going to see. To your point of what you're saying, it's just senseless to say anything about Brittany Griner. The girl just wanted to come home. She probably didn't think nothing of it. Oh, I'm playing for the basketball team. My doctor gave me this. I'm gonna smoke a little some when I get off. I'm gonna do a little R&R. No different than her going to therapy for an ankle, after an ankle surgery or something. No different than somebody going to CVS getting some damn Tylenol. That's what she was doing.
The issue is also they talk about this other guy, Paul. Here's the thing. I think a lot of people think I would have took a different stance on this. But I'm not, because you have to, when I look at these stories, I actually look at them. And this guy, Paul Wheeler, this other individual who's a Marine who's over there, he's over there on espionage charges, like spying charges.
That's
so here's
harsh.
the thing. He's like, he's been there for 4 years. He's been doing, it's like, listen, here's the thing. She was there for a hash pin. So it's like she was there for a vape pin. And it was hard on her. But they're like, okay, we'll let her out. That's different from your spying on our country. I'm not taking the point of view of the Russians. I'm not taking their side. I'm just telling you the charges are way different. So when these people, it's apples and oranges, they're saying oh, well, how come you didn't let this fucking Marine over? This guy's been sitting over here. He's been doing this. Bullshit. Listen to me. The charges are way different. To be quite fair, Vladimir Putin was very fair to the trade. Should we have done it? I don't think so. Did it happen? No. Great. If I was her family, would I advocate for it? Yes, I would. Of course I would.
I think
it's a very difficult position. But that guy didn't have a weed pin. He was spying on the country to undermine it and potentially, cause a war. Let's be fair. The other individual who they're talking about, who's another individual who's held there, an American citizen who was a teacher teaching English in Russia. He had 14 grams of marijuana. That's what they caught him with.
Yeah. What was his name?
But hold on. Jesus, I keep on forgetting. Eric something.
Yeah, but anyhow, I didn't want to miss.
He had 14. They caught him with 14 grams individually wrapped. They caught him with 14 grams. That doesn't mean that's all he was doing. You understand?
And then wasn't it another girl? It was a young white lady.
I think I'm not really schooled on it.
Yeah, it was like three other people that they were mentioning. She went home. They were saying, she was of a wealthy background, and then they brought up this teacher, and then but just like you said, to every apple there's an orange, because just like how you just saying that it's espionage, where they're gonna say, well, he was a veteran, but everybody is gonna look at it. He
happened to be a veteran, but he was undermining their country.
Exactly. It's just as
so
hard.
They're not going to be fucking happy about it. They're sort of like, all right, we'll let her go. She has hash pin. She's not selling hash pin. She has hash pin. And guess what? She's in Houston now. Who gives a fuck? It's
right,
okay.
But I also think it's like at the end of the day, what would you consider fair? Because if we would have did a trade like that, I think we would have just kind of did it in the background, because we good for keeping secret.
But here's the thing. She didn't do anything wrong in the grand scheme of things. And to be fair to Russia, they let her go.
Yeah.
They let her go. But hold on. Just let me finish the thought. If you don't think they have eyes on this motherfucker like 24/7, if you don't think that we have Russia locked down with sanctions, everything else, we're sending fucking billions of dollars to the Ukraine. They got Russia locked down. It's like, oh, you think you're gonna send arms, motherfucker? You think you're gonna do something? I wish you would, because we got a tracker on you like forever.
Yeah.
He was released from a federal prison sentence. If you don't think he has tracking on him, you're wrong. People should look at the backstory on it. Brittany Griner had a fucking has-been, so I get people saying like, "This is fucking bullshit." Why'd you? And it's sort of. I'll be honest, and I'm going to say something that hasn't been said in the media, and I generally don't promote it, but it's accurate here because I've been seeing like the undercurrent. There's a low-level racism here. I'm telling you why. I'm not calling the race card, but I'm telling you, there's a low-level racism here. The woman had an individual personal use vape pen in our own country, in every single state. If you personal use is different from distribution. Okay? Distribution is different from treason. Do you know what the punishment is for treason in this country? In America.
In the US or Russia?
In US.
In the US, I mean that's life or death.
Oh, hey.
Exactly. Excuse me. Hold on. Let me finish.
God damn.
For distribution, is it more than possession?
Yeah, I mean intent to sell.
Exactly. So when they brought this woman home, the idea that we shouldn't take one.
All right, y'all.
They're not
Hey. Pardon the interruption,
boy.
but I got another friend in. This is another real good friend of mine. You know, she served just like the rest of us. So let me introduce a good friend of mine, Miss Jasmine DeBerry. What's good with you?
Nothing much. Just listening to this conversation here.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right there.
How you doing, Jasmine? Jasmine, my name is Zachary. How are you, man?
Oh, I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well. Have you been listening?
Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, I have been listening. Yes, I served with Harris, Apollos. We were in we were in a couple units together. He was my battle buddy, and I've been following his podcast his YouTube channel for the longest, ever since he has gotten started. So yes, I'm glad to be on here with you guys. You guys are talking about an interesting subject.
Well, what do you think about what have you heard so far? And what do you think?
So, as for the trade, you know, I believe, Russia is playing a game of chess, not checkers. That's number one. The two don't even compare, between Brittany Griner and the guy that she was traded with. As far as Paul Whelan, I have a lot of my own dealing with that, as far as him so-called being a veteran, why he was discharged from the military, and all his other background, and whether he should be going home or not, to be particularly honest with you.
Did you hear the full thing that I was saying, or when did you drop in?
No, I heard the full thing. I just dropped in.
I think she dropped in during that last thing that you were mentioning.
Okay, so I would agree with that. Chess versus checkers, but I would argue that the United States of America is playing 4D chess. They're playing 4D chess versus chess. No one's playing checkers here. And the idea that a woman who had a hash pin can't be retrieved from America while we're sending billions of dollars of weaponry to NATO on the Eastern Force and Western and the Ukraine, that we have an issue with it. Russia ain't gonna touch shit, and I wish they would. Come down to Tampa, Florida. Come down to CENTCOM, McDill Air Force Base, and we'll see what Russia does. Jack shit.
All right, hold on. Stop the press. Right?
Seriously.
Now,
bring the young girl home. She's an American citizen. Who gives a shit?
Okay, listen. Considering what we all know, what this country.
I'm not talking about diplomatic precedents. I'm telling you, it's on 4D chess.
Okay, listen. I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. Everybody should have been talking about Connect Four. I mean, everybody should have been talking about chess.
Connect Four. Listen, we're talking about.
Hold on, because that's exactly what the fuck is going on right now. Because here's the deal, and I'm gonna tell you why. Considering what we know that this country is capable of doing, right? We all know about the 9/11 thing. That was a goddamn inside job. Now,
They all was inside jobs.
So okay then. So let's just backtrack, right? 2001, we knew what happened. 91, we knew what the fuck happened, right? 81, we knew what the fuck happened, right? And then the crown jewel, if that's what the hell you want to call it, November 22nd, 1963. This own government assassinated the one person that represents them, right? And then it's just for the simple fact that special effects is a motherfucker, right? Just because we saw Brittany Griner get her handcuffed, right? Do we really, or do we really know for sure that she got motherfucking arrested over in goddamn Russia? Do we really know that?
That's just as good as asking, did we land on the moon?
Exactly.
Or did they just make a movie?
Exactly.
You know, is there really a Mars? Do we really have satellites out there, or is it just aluminum foil pieces just floating around? I mean, what's really going on?
So my thing is this. You always listen. Look, you can laugh all you want to, right? But the thing about it is this. My thing is this, right?
I love it.
I'm gonna always ask motherfucking questions. I have to, right? Because I look at it like this. They said that Bill Cosby went to jail, but do we really know that for motherfucking sure? That man 83 years old, or he was 81 at the time. So you mean to tell me you finna put a motherfucker that's 81 years old in jail?
Yeah, for a while.
So
I mean, look at it's Bill Cosby. They've been wanting to get him for years.
Yeah, they've been wanting to get him for years.
They've been wanting to get him for years, just like R. Kelly. They wanted to get Michael Jackson, but Michael Jackson was too smart. I'm sorry. I feel like Tupac and Michael Jackson is still alive. You can argue me down with this, but I seen Michael Jackson get up out that ambulance van. I seen the video.
Yeah, me too.
I don't care what nobody say. That was him, and that's him, and that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Okay, I'm sorry you believe what you want to believe, but this is the land of the controversy. This is the home of the conspiracies. You know what I'm saying? We will sit here and
Jasmine, I'm sorry about this. I'm sorry you have to be privy to this, ma'am. We're sitting in here. You seem to be a sensible woman.
She already listen.
If she friends with Curtis, she already know.
Yeah, she already
knows. Oh, Lord.
No. She already know what she was getting into. She look. I give you about a week. I give you about a week, and you're gonna be doing the same thing. You're gonna have your own little. You know, we're gonna be okay. It's gonna be the same. You know what I'm saying? But it's the thing.
Because I'm just like I'm like this. Like I watch a lot of videos. I read a lot of articles.
I can't be a part of this.
And this morning I was watching a video and this guy was talking about, this SWAT, and he was like, you guys are just upset because a Black woman has gotten released. It has nothing to do about that she plays basketball or whatever the case may be. You guys are mad because a Black woman got released versus a white man. And that was his basis of his argument, that it had nothing to do about, he was an ex-Marine, this, that, and forth. It was the fact that, she's a Black woman. So what's your thoughts on that?
It's not just that. No, you're like that. Like that dog is hunting. But as somebody who's I would say kind of on the right, conservative, but pretty like socially liberal, I would say just even in our country, she had a vape pen, which is possession. The other individual who's held that they don't talk about, I keep on forgetting the name. He had 14 grams. That's just what they caught him with. But they caught him with that after a sting. Paul Whelan is charged for espionage. And in our country, look at the charges and look how it's traded. So in a wartime scenario, when we're Cold War backing Ukraine, sending billions, doing what we're doing, and we get an American citizen home, what's the issue? And they say, oh, well, because this is bull, blah, 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 blah. It's like, no. First of all, Russia's doing nothing right now. If they even flinch, we're going to war, bare minimum. We've been providing missile systems to Ukraine to kill their citizens. Nothing is happening, bare minimum. Why not get a young woman home who happens to be an American citizen, who happens to be a role model for young women, who happens to be a person of color, and they want to start with the last part. And it's like, get her home. I find that to be an accomplishment. They said, well, what about these guys? Well, they have different charges. People die in war. What do you want me to tell you? This is a victory. No, you don't understand it. I believe, listen to me. I understand it on a level, it's so high level that I think people don't understand. This was an okay thing. And the way the media is portraying it is inappropriate.
That's the media's job. That's the media's job.
If you were her or her family, you'd want her to come home. In the grand scheme of things, on a global chessboard, we were talking about checkers and chess earlier, we're playing 4D chess. Okay?
But the media is not gonna break it down like that. The thing is that it's not, like they say, if you watch the news, you're misinformed. If you don't, you're uninformed. So the thing is that you have so many people with so many different views. What do? There's never, the thing is to not come together.
During 2008, Eric Holder and Barack Hussein Obama utilized a program called Operation Fast and Furious, where they wanted to run serial numbers, where they had actual arms run from El Paso down into Mexico through the cartels that ended up in Libya used against us. Nobody had an issue with that. So if we send an arms dealer over there with trackers and probation devices and everything else and actual surveillance in an active war zone and he does something, maybe what would be the precedent that differs? Not much.
I feel like this, because I know we've been on this for 30 minutes and we got another topic to talk about.
But how about we bring Brittany home? How about that? Here's a fuck who she is and what she does. Bring an American citizen home.
I think it's a precedent to, they always try to start another war or start something else. If you think about the time where the CIA, what were they doing in Afghanistan or Iraq or Iran, and they were there, and the next thing you know, we got all these different, factions popping up, and they don't like America. You got ISIS, you got Al Qaeda, but what started was weapons going over to the United States. Look at this situation. That's when Hillary, kind of got involved because she was Secretary of State. The thing is that now we have Brittany Griner being traded for a weapons dealer. What you just stated, Operation Fast and Furious, weapons dealing. So what's going on with America, and do we have a weapons problem? And then boom,
the point of the statement, excuse me. The point of the statement was, if they could authorize Fast and Furious, if they could let this guy out, they'll track him. What's the difference? There's no difference in the precedent. Meaning, what would be the authorization sort of shelf life on moving forward with him being released? The idea is you track him at the highest level possible, in his every little move that he attempts to do, we see it and we nip it in the butt right there. It's the same precedent for a warrant, for an op order, for everything being issued as it is here. The only difference is we have a woman who happens to be an American citizen and an athlete of prevalence that is coming home back to our country. What's the fucking problem?
Okay, then, hold on. Let me say this.
Nobody had a problem with Operation Fast and Furious. It killed border guard agents. It killed soldiers in Libya. It killed soldiers who fought against ISIS. It killed everybody. We're tracking serial numbers.
Because it made money.
That's the problem.
It made money. She ain't making it.
Hold on now. Listen, y'all.
No, I'm saying the precedent from national security. It's the same precedent.
Okay,
it is. You're right about that part. But when some people hear her name in WNBA.
Okay, listen.
Listen. No, she had such a small crime that they could pull it off. She had a hat spin.
Right. You're absolutely right. But what I'm saying is, the people that don't understand this, they're gonna look at her name in WNBA and they're gonna immediately trash the whole thing. They're gonna trash her. They're gonna talk about her as an individual. That's what the media wants. That's what the media wants. But what we want is for them to understand that this was a fair, square deal. It sucked a little bit. You know, I wish they could have did a little bit better with the scope. You know, with this is what we finna do.
What they say on the Titanic? What they say on the Titanic?
Hey,
women and children first. Women and children first. Women and children first.
Okay, I get
on. We brought this girl home. Hey, excuse me. We brought a girl home who's an American citizen who did something that's legal in this country. Everyone could fuck off.
Okay, listen.
And I wish Russia would do something. Get their fucking ass whooped.
I want to know who snitched on her. Because I know that wasn't the first time she had to pee in. That's all I'm saying.
Listen, here's the deal, people. And Super Smooth, you said it best. Right? If you watch the news or whatever, you're misinformed, right? If you don't watch it, you're uninformed, right? Now, whether you want to sit up here and follow what the fuck Denzel Washington say, or you want to even go back years earlier than that and listen to what the hell Chuck D said, don't believe the hype. What I'm telling y'all right now is this, right? Brittany Griner, right? First and foremost, I really don't think that she was actually really motherfucking arrested. That's just me. These people, put like this. I put my hand. This is my right hand, right? This is the hand that they want you to see, right? And then not knowing what the fuck the left hand is doing. The news media, right? Or as Professor Griff once said it, the multi-European devils in action, right? This is what the fuck they do. They distract us with bullshit. Why they got us distracted, these motherfuckers. Like all kind of new, like, you know what, you can huff and puff all you want. But the thing about though is this.
This is fucking nonsense you talking about, bro.
No. Because I'm gonna tell you something.
You know what the distraction was?
It was the goddamn, listen. Like
they fucking put her, it's not cool, man. That bitch, listen, excuse me. I don't mean to say that, man. That woman was sitting in a fucking prison cell.
You know what the distraction was?
You saw pictures?
I got one. You know what the distraction was?
What's that?
Deion Sanders going to Colorado.
Yeah. Kurt, hold on, Kurt.
Let's segue. We got to segue.
No, hold on. No, I need to hear this. This is gonna change me. You think this was a work or a shoot? You think this was a work?
It was a motherfucking false flag to the highest degree.
Oh boy.
But for what though? For what? What's going on?
Well, see, that's the thing. That's the 64,000.
Because I ain't done. I'm not done with this.
Hey, Kurt, brother. Here's the issue. When you call this a false flag, it makes all the ones that are irrelevant. Listen to me.
Because I ain't done. That question for me
what's
is
the angle here? Kurt, you know I usually listen. We'll square up. We could shoot it with the best of them. What are you saying here?
All what I'm saying is this, right? When you have false flag after false flag after false flag after false flag after false motherfucking flag, now all of a sudden you finna tell the goddamn truth? No, I'm not buying it. That's like the little boy.
So is everything on the planet a false flag? Let me ask you the question. When you woke up and ate breakfast today, was that a false flag?
I didn't eat breakfast. I went straight to the gym.
Okay, so when you went to the gym, was that a false flag?
You ain't doing no pre-workout? You just went to the gym?
No, I did my pre-workout, yes. Right?
Okay, so when you took your pre-workout, was that a false flag?
I was itching like it was nobody's business, but I went to the gym.
No, you weren't. No, you weren't. Never happened. It was a false flag. See, this is what they try to tell you on the media. We on stream. Huh?
Because you wasn't there.
What I'm trying to say is you're saying every single thing is a false flag. This one makes everything illegitimate.
All what I'm telling you is this.
Yeah, that's a representation that I'm trying to apply. Yes, sir.
Just because, God damn it, CBS, ABC,
What?
NBC, C-SPAN, Fox.
God bless Jasmine. She's like, what am I witnessing?
No, because we're gonna let her say
Jasmine's
something.
like, what in the holy
Everybody knows
hell?
this. Listen, I can. You know what? I wish I had motherfucking prison bars in this house right now. I can take a picture.
Well, you be Brittany Griner then. No, you get your ass out of there with the goddamn Delta Force. How about that?
Everybody knows this. I can motherfucking I can go get some prison bars right now and have my wife take pictures and be like, damn, Kurt in jail. No, the fuck I ain't. I just did that to prove a motherfucking point.
That's like the dude with the monkeypox, with the fake monkeypox. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that with the fake monkeypox?
Kurt, I will allow you to say it, but hold on. Your definitive statement is that Brittany Griner was never in Russia. It was never held.
Exactly. That's just how I feel, though.
Oh, God help us all.
Hey, did you hear him? Did you hear him say that he said the Queen been dead for 4 years too? And then hold up. Let me go back some more. He said,
come on, dog.
Did you see his video on Kanika Jenkins? Look, he got a whole list. It's like Curtis Conspiracy. And it's like when you listen to it, it's like for a minute, he can get you for a minute. For a minute, you can be like, you know what?
Yeah, but Kurt,
you got a point.
Listen, no, but the conspiracy, here's what you got it wrong at. The conspiracy angle on this one is not that she was over there. It's how they're like, demeaning her, and the right is saying, no, there shouldn't have been a swap. When obviously there should have been a swap. With what they're doing with Ukraine, how they're unilaterally pivoting within the East, within NATO and missile systems. But nobody wants to hear the truth. Hold on, what are we going to hear?
Why swap? That's my thing. Why?
Because she's an American citizen and a woman of our country.
Okay, so we can go get captured and ain't nobody finna swap for us?
Yes, they will.
Are you mad about that? Are you mad about that?
Who
is?
So are you mad because she was a woman that got swapped?
Me?
You don't feel like the same thing would have happened for a male?
The man is still over there.
No, what if it was LeBron?
Yeah. You don't think it would have happened for a male, Curtis?
LeBron, listen, and I said this.
Hey, Kurt, let me ask you this. When we're in the Army, never left a fallen soldier, right?
Yeah.
Black Hawk Down, right?
Okay.
So then what?
Don't bring that up. Okay. That movie was a freaking atrocity.
Okay, so
that story was so horrible.
Well, we took an oath to defend and what the United States Constitution. This woman just took the hat in.
Leadership. Everybody that knows, that was bad leadership.
Okay, hold on.
That was bad leadership.
In El Paso, they maybe do the Arabic translation during our final training session. I'm like, this is fucked up.
That was horrible. That was equivalent to what happened in El Paso.
Okay.
Bad leadership.
Hold on. Okay.
But to be honest, I did do the Arabic translation, and it was a pretty good lunch that day.
Okay, then hold on now. Jasmine, you brought up a question, right? And you said because somebody else said that once before, right? They said, well, what would happen if
I don't understand how they're not happy Brittany Griner got home. This is fucking blowing my mind right now. Listen, sorry.
Listen, now a lot of people saying that because somebody I forget who said it, right? They were like, well, if LeBron would have went over there and he'd have brought some shit over there, this wouldn't be a motherfucker.
They would have SEAL Team 6 in that motherfucker.
Like this, he would have heard, they would have heard up, went over there and got him. But see, here's the deal, right? And then you can take this and run with it however you want to, right? LeBron, for the most part, he ain't finna do nothing that damn stupid, okay?
How we know that?
Come on.
How we know that? That's bull.
Come on.
No.
This woman has been smoking marijuana for years.
Okay.
I had insight. I had insight. So let me say this to you. Brittany Griner is the equivalent to somebody like a Kevin Garnett. If you want to do center to power forward, Brittany Griner is the Lisa Leslie of these little girls' times. So therefore, you think of somebody that's as dominant as Brittany Griner. She is the Shaq of WNBA.
Okay, then. So
when it comes to the United States government, I don't give a fuck who you are, what your net worth is. You are a United States citizen.
But to
in the
American,
United States of America, you get back here.
Okay, then. So let's look at it like this. If
it was LeBron, it would have been SEAL Team 6. If it was Brittany Griner, it would have been shy. I'm not woke up yet, Joe Biden. But they got her ass fucking back here. How about that?
But here's the even better question. If they're saying that, why this to my other question? Why do you have WNBA players who don't get paid enough over here? This is your top star player. Think of somebody like a Cheryl Swoops, a Lisa Leslie, a Cheryl Miller. Why do you have to go? Oh, and you know Cheryl Miller was better than a lot of dudes. That was one of my favorite players all time. Unfortunately she wasn't able to play WNBA because they didn't even have a league when she was playing. So imagine that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but the thing
why do
we have WNBA players playing in Russia in the first damn place?
Exactly.
You can't pay them that much. You can't pay them that much.
Can I tell you why? Because nobody watches the WNBA.
So what? Don't nobody watch the NBA? Don't nobody watch the damn who was watching the Clippers 10 years ago? Who
people in China?
Philadelphia
Excuse me. Hold on. That's
watching
great.
The Pacers after Reggie Miller left?
We could hear the yelling. We could hear the yelling.
I'm just saying. I'm a basketball fan.
Hold on. Let me say it. Enough people to pay them hundreds of millions of dollars from the owners. Enough people worldwide to watch it. That's a different conversation about how popular sports are within the domestic apparatus, which is America. But within America, when it comes to domestic policy to protecting our citizens, that's a whole nother conversation. And when it comes to that, we defend our citizens. That's completely different.
Yeah, that takes precedence, but it's still a question.
Yeah, I mean, that's a different conversation.
Yeah,
obviously, the NBA is more popular. Would you agree the NBA is more popular than WNBA? Not how much.
The NBA is the popular sport.
Hold on. So in America, it's a free market capitalist system. Could it be changed? I hope it could be in the future, but for now, this is what it is. But regardless of if it is or if it isn't, I don't care if you're in the NBA, the WNBA, or if you work at fucking Walgreens. If you're an American citizen and someone fucks with you, make no mistake, somebody should jump out of a plane and come fucking save you. Because that's how we do it.
But if it was Serena Williams, they would have sent SEAL Team 6 too. So just saying. That's Serena Williams.
So okay, so let's
but what I'm trying to say is I'm trying to stick up for Brittany Griner, saying like we have to go get our Americans. Period.
She shouldn't have been over there in the first place. If you ask me, I'm sorry. If I'm a team owner,
but she was.
I own a team,
but she was.
I'm not gonna let my WNBA players. If I own an NBA team, I'm not gonna. No, you're not going over there. We're gonna pay you. We're gonna come up with something. We're gonna do something.
That's like saying the players. That's like saying the players over here. You can't be sponsored by Spanx or Nike or fucking ILoveYogurt.com. It's like people make money. It's a capitalist system.
Okay, hey.
Right.
LeBron ain't got to play in Russia. LeBron ain't got to play nowhere else.
Let's do this. Right? Let's everybody.
I like what Smooth's saying though. I like what she's saying, but I'm just being practical.
Let's everybody.
I love Smooth. Me and her are dancing right now.
Okay.
It wasn't no argument. We good.
Yeah,
it's dancing.
Yeah. So let's do this.
Fun.
That's a 1-2 step.
So
Jasmine's like, what did I get myself into here now?
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's say this. Let's everybody say they look quick piece, and then we go on to the next subject. So Jasmine,
I only got one sentence about the next subject.
What's the next subject?
Deion Sanders.
You just talked about him yesterday.
I did that, but I want to hear y'all.
Like
I want to hear y'all's perspective. I want to hear y'all's
Hold on.
perspective. I want to hear. Go ahead. You go first.
So the only thing I have to say, and then I'm have to get off because I have to jump on a call real fast, is that I do agree with Smooth. I do agree with the fact that she shouldn't have been over there to begin with. You are a WNBA player. There is no way in hell that you should have to compensate or make more money going to another country to get paid. I definitely don't agree with that. I definitely believe like if you are an owner of an NBA team, like you should be compensating your players well. They should not have to think like, oh, I got to go do this side job, like to get some extra funds or whatever the case may be. That should not be happening. But I also do see the fact that right now in this day and age that an NBA player, a female NBA player right now will not get as paid as a male, get paid as much as a male NBA player just because it's the time that we living in. It's just not there yet. That's just like saying if we had an NFL team that was completely female, it'll be the same way. It would be the same way. And that's unfortunate, but it is. And some of these women, their careers are this. It's basketball. And I think like probably, yeah, it could have been avoided if for some odd apparent reason that she was going to play basketball in Russia to make more money. Who knows? But it probably could have been avoided. But I will say that this probably ain't her first merry-go-round bringing vapes to Russia. This was just her first time getting caught. That's all that was. Just what they say, right time, right place, right uniform. All her shit was just wrong that day. That's all that was. So
Yeah, right during the war, right?
exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
And here's the thing: if you owned a shop that sold chicken sandwiches, and the chicken sandwiches weren't great, and you didn't have customers that went and bought them, would the chicken sandwich shop go out of business?
It would most likely go out of business.
Could you pay your employees a lot?
Hold on. Wait a minute now. Jasmine, really?
He said if you had a chicken shop.
I said if you had a chicken sandwich, okay, let's call it this. If you had a tire shop that didn't have good tire service, and they didn't get a lot of service, could you pay your employees a lot more?
No, you couldn't.
Okay, so what I'm attempting to say is not a lot of people watch the WNBA compared to the NBA.
They don't watch it, but that doesn't mean it ain't good quality basketball.
That's great. Doesn't mean they're not good quality tires either.
It's just in the hood.
Yeah. Do you see what I'm saying?
Hood tire shops is the best.
No, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying.
Hey, look, I told you, political comedy is very difficult. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to master political comedy. Okay, one day you're gonna see me doing a political comedy series, and I'm gonna be talking about y'all too. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Damn, that was a little wild. Sorry about that.
But I think I've said enough about that. With
okay,
so
I
just want to swing right into Colorado.
Where's she at? She had enough. Kurt,
no, her phone. She was on her phone. Her phone died. She just.
And
who is she? I'm sorry, you didn't introduce. Like, where did you meet her at?
Yeah, you just popped that on in there. You just slid that on in there.
Like, who the hell is this little prick just jumped on in?
No, my whole deal is that when I came back to Fort Hood back in 2006, I actually really met her maybe a couple of years later. Right. And then on my, not my last deployment, but my next to last deployment, we actually really deployed together. So we cool. And just like say, she been watching, she was on my,
I think she had to get ready for another job. It's about to be 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock.
Yeah. So, but just like say, but the thing about it though, I asked her to be a part of this because it's just for the simple fact of one, we all serve. I look at her the same way that I look at y'all two, right? So I asked for her to actually really come on because she's been wanting to come on, right? So I feel like, okay, well, hey, why not actually really bring her in on this, considering this is like the new hotness. This is hot shit. So I was like, hey, let her come
She
on.
had good points. She
Yeah.
had a good understanding. I mean, of everything that was political. I mean, not everybody
Yeah.
is
I'll
deeply
be
into
honest,
politics, but she had some good points.
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
yeah.
will say this, just to piggyback off Smoot, I thought she was a I'm not going to say all that, but I would say she was a beautiful woman.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah.
it's like when you're watching the news and you know you don't want to
Yeah,
look at
she needs to be like in a pantsuit with makeup on. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Tremendous.
All right. Okay. That's okay. You know. So, but in our okay, but in our case, right? We're let's go into the next.
Sorry, I'm from North Africa. That's just our culture. And I
Yeah.
wish you would talk shit about Arabs right now.
I'm not. Listen. Okay. So
Yeah,
let's
go
go
ahead.
on. Let's go on to the next subject.
Deion Sanders is not a sellout. I'm just saying he
I
didn't go. He didn't go to a HBCU. He was the most cockiest and the most prevalent. I mean, this is prime time that we talking
yeah.
about.
Uh-huh.
Okay, prime time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
You talking about the man that didn't even go to his own combine. He showed up, ran, and went home. Okay. This is a brother that what he said, the Jerry curl, it was curly, but it wasn't wet though. You know what I'm saying? You know, this is a brother that I respect him so much and what he's done, not only for the sport, for black men, for the culture. You know what I'm saying? He is himself, but the thing is that he is not a sellout. If somebody offered you $5 million, you'd be gone too. But it wasn't
Yeah,
about
me
the
too.
money.
Yeah.
It's more so about the exposure. And Colorado was a powerhouse back in the day.
Yeah.
If you do your history, Colorado was a powerhouse. I remember many a time. My family is a big sport. We are a sports watching family. I remember Colorado back in the day. I don't know who them people was, but I remember the teams that were hot back in the day. But the thing is that it's up to us as people of color to get the HBCUs because a lot of people all they know is Howard and Clark Atlanta, Spelman and Morehouse. They don't know no other
FAMU.
HBCU or FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. That's it. That's all everybody know.
Uh-huh.
Okay, what is y'all doing to put them on TV? What are y'all doing? We see all these other cut rate schools. You know, you see 10 commercials for ITT and they didn't file bankrupt. You don't see one HBCU.
Uh-huh.
It took this man to get on TV, to put us on ESPN, to put us on Fox Sport Network, to put us on prime time television. He did what he said he was going to do, and he left. Y'all mad about that? Then that's y'all fault. The man did his job. He did what he was supposed to do. Leave him alone. He's a football coach. What you expect him to do?
Yeah, and it's just like, and you know, it's just like what actually really jump on what you said. You know, it's put like this. It's no different than what we did while we was in, right? You know, we come into a new unit, we do what we need to do, we give insight, and then it's up to the leaders to actually really implement it or not. But 9 times out of 10, they'll actually really end up implementing it, and then you make the unit better. But the thing about it though is this: Deion did that by choice, right? You know, us on the other hand, we're only as long as the contract allows us to stay. Now, could Deion could have stayed? Of course. But the thing about it though is this, right? What was that song that he had out years ago when he signed to the Cowboys? He said, "Hey, must be the money." But
Right.
but the thing about it though is this: I really don't look at Deion as a money chaser. I mean, because Jackson State was only giving this guy $500,000, right? And then hell, he turned around and took half of that and put it back into the school, right? On top of bringing,
and then had his friends put money into the school with him as far as doing things for the boys, putting him in he brought a lot of things, but they just could not pay him. I think that this was just on a favored basis from the start. Hey, we can't pay you as much, but if you can do whatever you can do with us, do for us at this time, go ahead and do. Okay, I can bring my sons with me. I can bring my hype with me. And this is, I guarantee you, people are still going to go to JSU because he was at that program. He is still going to be able to have that same profound effect on JSU. I just don't think that so many people understand, it ain't got nothing. It's what he did in terms of that $5 million contract that he did for Colorado, that he got at Colorado. He did the same thing in non-monetary value for JSU.
Yep. Exactly.
If you had to put a value,
let me jump in real quick. Deion Sanders is a Hall of Famer. Deion Sanders is one of the GOATs at his position within the National Football League. I'm just going to preface my statement by saying that, secondarily, when I grew up at 13 years of age, when I moved to this house, my next door neighbor, his name was Frank Woodward, my next door neighbor, who we had Thanksgiving together, Christmas together, until I joined the military. 13 right on up when my dad died at 16, the whole nine. That's why I said FAMU, because I saw on the back of his vehicle he had a FAMU Rattlers tag, right? This was a black man with a black family, lived right next to us, and we lived in a suburb, but then like adjacent to a country, not in the country club, but close to a country club. It was sort of, I don't know what you call it, like lower middle class or like sort of like this. And, I learned a lot from Frank Woodward from the age of 13 to 18. And he taught me all about the HBCUs, the whole shit, right? Mm-hmm. And he told, like, I'd go back and forth to Morocco in the summers. I grew up in here. I saw his kids grow up. We went on the golf courses together. We played on the weekends. He became a city planner for the city of Palmetto, outside of where I live in Manatee County. He then became a mayor. He then moved on to the great state of, the upper great state of Florida, Tallahassee, do political things, told me about the Masons, told me about all this stuff.
Mm-hmm. It's
and
funny.
It's interesting. And I could say this. I could understand what he was saying, but one thing he told me was very important is, not sort of we're here to take part, we're here to take over, but we're building a pyramid, meaning like we just don't want our little piece down here. We don't want our little piece to be recognized. We want to be a part of the whole thing and take over. That's free market capitalism. That's how we want it. And that's from a guy who's in it. Frank Woodward, look him up to this day. That was my next door neighbor. That was my dad's best friend before he died. That was the guy who raised me after I died until I joined the military. And as I watched his son grow up to 3 years old before I left Fort Sill, Oklahoma, and got my ass whipped up there before I did what I did in the military. And he was a proud member of FAMU. Mm-hmm. And he was letting me know, it's like, hey man, because you have to understand during this time when like he very first moved in, this is like on the back heels of 9/11. Because my mom will wear a hijab. My mom will wear the hijab in this area that we were living in. It's not country now, but back then it was a little bit underdeveloped. And when people would see like Muslim people wearing clothing, especially women, it was very inappropriate. And we just became close. Our neighbors became close. And I want to tell you something. What Deion just did for those individuals at Jackson State out of Mississippi was an incredible thing. Because if you don't think that they can't enter the portal, you're wrong. And if they're good enough to compete, if they're good enough to get up there, good. And it's going to be on fair ground. It's not going to be on bullshit. It's not going to be because you're this, because you're that, because you're not, because you're not. It's going to be because you catch the ball, you kick the ball, you catch the ball, you score touchdowns, and you're the shit. And give it about one generation. Colorado, in 2024, when they expand the playoffs to 12 teams instead of 4 in the college playoffs, and that Power 5 will be in it, there's not a more powerful recruiter in the planet than Deion Sanders. And Deion's the GOAT. It's prime time, period. And I I had a weird upbringing with that coming into the military and then running into an individual like Kurt. Just think about that. I go from Frank Woodward to Curtis Harris. Can you imagine that? And what a journey. Kurt, I don't know if you ever heard that, but that was my upbringing in my neighborhood. I miss Frank. Frank comes around all the time, man. He eats barbecue. We play golf every once in a while.
That's the first time that you actually really.
Well, I didn't know what HBC. I was like, damn, and he was telling me all about like the black sororities and all the shit. You know what I mean? But go ahead, sir.
Yeah, but okay. Well, first and foremost, I appreciate the fact that
you know my Farrakhan shit and all that, but
yeah,
that's how that all got connected. By the way,
yeah, I appreciate the fact that I appreciate the comparison. That means a lot, you know. As far as like Dion goes, and even with you, Super Smooth, you know, I look at it like this. When you have a talent, you know, whether it's playing football, basketball, boxing, you know, being a comedian, you know, for me, you know, as far as like as far as like football goes, I can't actually really just put it like actually on one position. Basketball, you know, everybody likes Michael Jordan, but you know, I look at Bill Russell. Hey, look, he won 11 of them things, right? You know, boxing. Again, you know, different weight classes or whatever, you know. But as far as like the only thing that I could actually really zoom in on and say, okay, well, this person here is the GOAT, is Richard Pryor. And you know, Richard Pryor said a whole lot of shit, right? So that actually really made a whole lot of sense. I look at Dion, it's like, okay, here's a guy, he is taking his talents, and it's like, okay, well, I'm not just gonna teach a group of people my talent. He's taking this shit on the road. So, you know, and for the most part, I think if put like this, if you're that damn gifted, right, then why not take your shit on the road? Why not let everybody enjoy that what you can actually like really do? And then when the president of Jackson State, he come out on Twitter and said, well, hey, guess what? I hope you fail. And I'm just like,
wow.
And you
He
know,
said
and,
that?
you know, and this is like, if this ain't the motherfucking,
He said that?
yeah, he said it. It's all go on Twitter. I forget his name, but
Did you see how grateful? Did you see the press conference that Dion gave at Colorado?
Yeah, because the
You
thing
know,
about
do you understand the recruiting pool? See, I don't understand wow. Because do you understand the individuals that are going to come to Boulder, who are going to come to the University of Colorado and play there? They're going to be black people from all over the nation who are going to get an opportunity.
Not even just Colorado, the surrounding areas.
Yeah, exactly.
That whole entire district or division. What is it, Pac-12?
Yeah, Pac-12.
Pac-12, yeah. Like
that whole
Pac-12. Oregon State, Idaho, Hawaii,
they just got
USC, yeah. UCLA. It's just it's bizarre. And like if he's the greatest recruiter in the country, and a guy who I talk to all the time, Todd Klim, Bubba the Love Sponge down in Tampa, who's friends with Dion, he told me, he's like, Dion, he almost had a job at USF, University of South Florida, but University of South Florida just wanted to pay him $1.3 million. And he's like, fuck no. And good for him, because he knew
worth.
He knew his value. Well, not only that, he was willing to work with them like at 3, but he said he wants full control of
because he wants to do it
like
his way.
Exactly.
JSU let him do it his way.
Yep.
Like at JSU is look at it. If you want to see his interview to the world was JSU. You know, but it's like you
he's talking
said, you know,
about
the
his academic rate, everything, academic rate.
yeah,
He doesn't want the athletic. The only person that can talk to him is the principal of the university. He don't want the athletic director to talk to him. He don't want the football director. He's in charge. He's going to do it his way. And if you watch his speech when he talks about I'm coming, make no mistake. Did you guys watch that speech?
he's been saying that same thing since he was at what was it, Truth Academy or Prime Prep? Prime Prep. Do y'all remember that series from back in the day where his kids were babies? You know what I'm saying? This is when he was even married to another woman, and he even said it then. You start from the bottom. He started literally from the bottom. We watched his coaching career go from, and you got to be a fool to think that
he's at a Power 5 school.
He's gonna be he's gonna be coaching the NFL real soon.
Yeah.
And now he's at a Power 5 school. Man. You guys gotta watch the Smooth, Kurt. I'm telling you, you guys gotta watch. If they're only like 8 minutes apiece, there's one where he walks into the stadium with his family and Shador, who's going to be the new QB, and he addresses the team. Because I don't think people understand. Colorado is a powerhouse with their schedule in the Pac-12. They went 1-11 last year. They're fucking over it. They went 1-11, and the boosters and everybody rolled out the red carpet and said, "This is how we're doing it." And if you guys have ever been to Boulder, Colorado, right there in Denver, right there on the Rockies, it's stunning. Big stadium, big facility,
it's a beautiful place to be. I mean, it's granted, if you like the winter, it's a beautiful place to be. It's not really. It's just a little cold. It's not that bad though.
But indoor practice facilities, weight rooms, pools, greatest medical facilities in the world. But here's the thing: his speech that he gave to them is 8 minutes. I wish there was a way. We need to have a better podcast where we could like stitch it in, because it is inspiring.
Zach, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do. Now that I'm actually like really, I got my laptop, so I'm gonna actually like really start experimenting with.
Try to edit, put it in there.
I'm actually like really going. Once I actually really figure this shit out, right? You know, I'm gonna actually really, start getting clips, and then, because that way we can actually really watch this shit. And then we can actually really stop it, talk about it, whatever the case may be. So I'm actually really working on that. But let me say this with Deion Sanders, right? And just like I said, I brought up Richard Pryor earlier, right? And so if you look at how Richard Pryor started, right? He did his whole deal was Bill Cosby. He wanted to be like Bill Cosby. And then, go back and watch the documentary. And then once he found out that wasn't working for him, then he changed his whole persona. He was the crazy nigga. That was his whole persona at the time, which for the most part, it actually really made him the GOAT. And then it's just for the simple fact, Richard Pryor, Rudy Ray Moore, Red Fox, all those guys, they worked the Chitlin circuit at one point. They had to. It's put like this. It's a route that you have to take. Because let's think about it for a minute. If Deion actually really thought, because, let's not bullshit this, right? Deion wants to coach in the NFL. And 9 times out of 10, he probably could. He said, you know what? I want to coach the NFL. And any owner that had some sense would have actually really gave Deion that chance. Remember what Shaq said. Shaq said that Deion should coach for the Cowboys. But all of us here know that Jerry Jones ain't having that shit, right? But the thing about it though is this, right? I think what Deion is doing is that let me start here. And I'm gonna show everybody what the fuck I can do. Now he up there in Colorado. He finna show everybody what the fuck he finna do up there. Right? And before too long,
How you feel, Scott?
the NFL is gonna come calling. Now, it's only been one, as far as I'm concerned, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's only been two college, well, three, if you actually, I mean, if you want to really look at that, it's only three college coaches that actually really made that transition to the NFL and actually really won the Super Bowl. Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, one went back.
Yeah.
You got one went back.
Yeah.
Harbaugh.
Jimmy Johnson, Barry Switzer, and Pete Carroll, right? I mean, now, because Pete Carroll, he came in at first and they ran his ass out of there. But then he came back to Seattle and he won a Super Bowl. So these are people, these are coaches that came straight out of college. It's you know, and these are the only three that I'm actually really tracking. But then let's look at Tony Dungy, right? Shit, he played for the Steelers, right? So here's a guy that he won a Super Bowl as a football player. Then he come back and won one as a head coach. So it's not like that this shit can't be done, right? It's just that I'm looking at people like Tony Dungy, Lovie Smith. These are the pioneers of the head coach in the NFL. And I think what Dion is doing, if you want to call it the underground, whatever, you know, hey, look, let me get some coaching experience first. Then once the NFL actually really see what I'm doing, then they'll come calling. Then, hey.
But I think it's deeper than that. I think he wants ownership. And I think at some point, the NFL and the people alike are going to really have to understand. You want to understand us more. You want us to support you more during some of these tough times. You want to see our players, our black players or players of color on your team with your team jersey on. Don't let us own a team. We're going to show you how it really looks. Okay. We're going to show you. We're going to give you a taste of it. And whether you like it or not, we've had to look at y'all own teams and do piss poor jobs for a long time. Your families are intertwined in this. Y'all are intertwined into the communities. Let's see what it looks like when you have a household name for over the last 20, 30 years on a team, coach a team, and be loved while doing it. Because Deion Sanders, really, he can do no wrong in a lot of people's eyes.
Yeah. But the only thing, you know, they're like say, I wish Deion all the success up there, right? But I gotta ask you this. I'm gonna ask both of y'all this, right? Where do y'all see college football, and NFL within the next 5 years? Now, I know that college players, they can't make no money, but the NCAA, the NCAA is making millions.
No, now they can make money.
Yeah, so, they changed it now.
So I'm just like
NIL.
So they actually changed that.
No, that's the whole thing about Deion. They all could get NIL deals. NIL.
Their think
name
now,
and their likeness.
If you go overseas and
Kurt,
look
you didn't know that?
I mean, I know. I put it like this. I knew that they was really.
No, they can get paid for their name and their likeness for brand deals, everything.
So that's what I'm
saying.
Called
NIL.
I knew that they was really pushing that.
Like November, India, Lima.
Like I say, I knew they was pushing that a few years back, but I actually really didn't know that it had came to pass.
Oh, it's legit now.
Yeah. And the thing is I believe as far as NFL, I think now they're getting prepared for a new type of player. They're getting there's a shift in the NFL now, because for them to come out with that BS where the Cowboys is going to the damn Super Bowl, that's a damn lie. The Cowboys is not going to the Super Bowl. Try again. I'm sorry. It's not going to happen.
Super Smoke.
It's not going to happen.
Hold on. Listen. Hear me out on this.
Oh my!
Right? I know that you're. Listen. Look. I know that you're an Eagles fan.
I am an Eagles fan, and if the Eagles was going, I'm sure they're gonna go further than the Cowboys.
Okay, hold on.
No,
Eagles fly.
Listen.
Oh yeah, I'm about to trigger them. That's it. Call the VA right now. VA hotline.
Listen. Hear me out on
1-800-273-4400. You're never alone.
Hear me out on this, right? And this actually really goes back to the previous subject, right? But hear me out on this, right? Jerry Jones, right?
Who?
Jerry Jones.
Didn't he do backplays?
Zach, hear me out on this, right? So
Jerry I'm just Jones, joking. God damn, have a sense of humor. The fuck? Friday. For fuck's sake, I'm getting drunk. I got a Heineken pop right now. Calm the fuck down.
Okay, look. First and foremost, ain't nobody drunk just because I've been drinking. But Super Smoke, hear me out on this.
No, I said hold on. I said I popped the Heineken.
Okay, then. But hear me out on this, right? When Jerry Jones was winning, right?
When was that?
Jerry actually came out and said, Jerry Jones came out and said that, look, he made a deal, right? That hey,
with the devil.
If I could get that one more Super Bowl, right? I'll leave you alone. Right?
Okay. The last time Jerry Jones was winning, I was 7 years old. I'm 33.
Okay.
I'm 33. Not gonna happen no time soon.
Listen, brother. The Bucks have won 2 since. How about that?
So listen.
Not gonna happen.
And see, then I can talk about the Bucks
too. Oh hell no, the Bucks are done this year. But at least they already won 2. Who gives up?
Here's the deal. Jerry Jones is 80 years old. Right?
Not gonna happen.
Super Smoke, hear me out now, right? Knowing.
Are you a Cowboys mark?
Listen, knowing how the industry works, right? Let's just say for shits and giggles that Vegas give this one to Jerry, right?
What?
Will you like calm your ass down? Let me finish what the hell I'm trying to say.
Over the Eagles? Are you out of your fucking mind?
Look, Zach, really? Don't make me put your ass on mute. Hear me out, Super Smoke, right?
I wish you fucking would put me on mute the last time I'll be on this fucking podcast.
Okay, you keep talking, keep breaking me up. So the thing about it is this.
Minnesota might whip that Dallas ass too. Put me on mute, motherfucker. Go ahead.
Listen, so let's just say for shits and giggles, right? If you look at all of the controversy that has happened within that organization, Dak broke his thumb, the 1957 photo, right? All this shit coming to Dallas, right? So let's just say this. Say Vegas give this to Jerry. Jerry wins. Just know before the next football season starts, Jerry Jones is going to die. Watch what the fuck I tell you. Because here's the deal. Let's stop and think about it for a minute. Let's go back to 2001. The Twin Towers fell. Who won the goddamn Super Bowl? The Patriots, right? Let's take it 6 years.
Oh, here you go. I already know where you going.
But no, hear me out.
You're just gonna let this happen and let him try to mute me, huh?
He do it every time. He do it every time.
Hold on. Y'all want to call me a motherfucking conspiracy theorist? And look, y'all had y'all motherfucking opinion, but I done watched this shit too goddamn long to know. So here's the deal. You know what, Zach? You keep on.
You right? Lucky we ain't talking about JFK.
But the thing is, so here's the deal. So 2006 or 2005, whenever Hurricane Katrina happened, right? Fucked up New Orleans, right? Who won the motherfucking Super Bowl? The goddamn Saints. And then the first 2 states in the United States to legalize marijuana. What 2 teams was in the motherfucking Super Bowl? Right? the Broncos and the goddamn Seattle Seahawks. Now, here's the deal. And I'm going to tell you, and this is why I call bullshit, because Peyton Manning, he threw for 50-plus touchdowns that year. And you telling me he can't throw for one? The NFL, the NBA, the NBL, the NHL, goddamn boxing, all this shit is controlled by goddamn Vegas.
Of course, it's been that way. It's been that. But see, my thing is this. I love, you know. I mean, I'm not a gambler. I don't like to call myself a gambler, but when you watch enough sports and you know enough, you can make a good side hustle. You can make a good, you know, it can be a very lucrative life. So yeah, I'm not opposed to that theory, but I mean, I'm not saying I confirm or deny that.
So Kurt, let me ask you this, Kurt. So wait a second. You're gonna silence me for speaking my mind?
No,
what you're saying?
Hold on, because the thing about it though is this.
That's what you're saying to me?
Hold on, listen. Because I sit here and
no thanks, Tom Hanks.
Hold on, listen. I sit here and I listen to you.
I wish you could see me. I'm smiling and winking.
Yeah, I bet you are. But the thing about it though is this. I sit here and I listen to you. I hear what you got to say.
Speaking facts like a motherfucker too. Let's get that right.
But it's almost like that every time that I say something, it's almost
yeah, because some shit is crazy. You don't understand that? So I'm not.
But see, here's the deal. Here's the deal with me.
I guess it's the Apollo Terror show.
Hold on. What do I call myself? I'm the goddamn
I have
crazy
no idea.
uncle. I'm the goddamn crazy uncle. Treat me as such. But just know this.
Oh, look at the finger. Hold on.
In a minute, you're gonna get the hand knife. You're gonna get the hand.
But the thing is this.
Look at the finger.
The thing is this, right?
That is a dominant finger. You know how much that finger could lift right now? At least 45 pounds.
Hold on. But here's the deal, right?
I got to smile. You see the smile at the right corner.
Look. Hey, he been smirking. Look. He can't keep the same face.
I got him to crack.
But the thing about it though is this. Hear me out. I'm the guy that's crazy uncle. I'm supposed to come up with these crazy ass scenarios. I'm supposed
we ain't gonna deny you that. You do be coming up with the crazy shit. You get homework.
Kurt, do you remember?
We talk about this
Kurt,
crazy
do you remember we got
stuff?
back from Korea? When we got back from Korea, what did we watch? Zeitgeist.
Yeah.
Did we not? On battalion staff duty, we sat there, watched Zeitgeist. I think we watched a bunch of other things too.
Yeah.
It was only 3 hours.
Yeah, but
had to do a couple rounds.
But Zeitgeist was like.
Hold on, you see how you got the finger up there though? A couple seconds ago.
That opened up your eyes to.
No, Zeitgeist is good. Zeitgeist is real good.
Like I remember when. Matter of fact, I think it was you that introduced me to the Zeitgeist, and it kind of just. It opened my eyes to like, damn, those thoughts that I was thinking, somebody else was thinking the same thoughts and made a whole video.
There was another one too. I think it was called like 9/11 something.
Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yes, Fahrenheit 9/11.
Yeah, and there's a third one too. But at the same, it's just like some people, you have. It's just like how they say in the Matrix, and I'm a big Matrix fan. I don't care. The Matrix was a documentary.
You know, some people say that's a documentary, not a movie.
And it really is because you have this world that we live in and that you see, that you look at. But then you have this alternative. And a lot of people, it's just what is real and what isn't. Are there people that come and knock on your door? Hey, we're going to make you famous. You're going to be rich. You're just going to have to do this and da 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 da. Then you have people that make money on both sides of a war. You have people, like I said last time, you mean to tell me that I can have, if I want to buy a truck, I can have 5 different choices of trucks, 20 different choices of rims, or if I want a sedan, a 4-door sedan, a luxury car, I can get a BMW, I can get an Audi, I can get a Mercedes, I can get a G5 wagon if I wanted to. But you mean to tell me I can get 31 flavors at Baskin Robbins, but when I want to choose my politician, I only got 2 choices.
Exactly.
So we live in this world where, what are you looking at? And then when it's like we've been given the goggles. Zeitgeist gave you the goggles. You just got to know
My
what
thing
you're
is,
looking at.
my thing about Zeitgeist is this: is like I believe in Zeitgeist. I believe in Fahrenheit 911. I believe in all that shit. Look at my history all the way back. I've been doing it.
Yeah.
My problem is the powers that be understand that reality and they're taking advantage of individuals to try to put out some far-fetched shit to get you to latch onto it to discredit you.
But it's
Truly.
like you said, people's attention span
Not all of
is
it.
not that long to even realize what we realize.
Yeah. So
No, I'm not saying for them, for us.
So put it like this.
Like when they do like Occupy Wall Street, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, these sort of things, it's like, hey, there's false flags that they're operating because they know that individuals are waking up to these things. As when you watch the Zeitgeist, when you watch some of these things, when you open up to this knowledge, that people need to be aware. And when I start to hear things that are like bullshit, or it sets my bullshit detector off, it's like it's dangerous.
It's kind of like when they started talking about when they took the term woke out of context.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like yo, just because a person wants to read deeper into something doesn't mean they're woke. Yo, you're too woke. Yada yada yada. Or like,
okay then, can I say this then? Right? And again, I mean all this stuff. We've seen this. We've seen the Zeitgeist, right? And you almost like have to dig for hell to go find that shit on YouTube now, right? So, considering what we've seen on the Zeitgeist, considering that we've seen the movies, the Matrix movies, to be perfectly honest, I think they should have left it alone after the second, right? But my whole deal is this: considering the world that we live in. Special effects is a motherfucker, right? So, and see, this is what the fuck I was trying to tell y'all with the whole Brittany Griner deal, right? Just because we see it, just because these motherfuckers put this shit out there, right? Can we really, honestly, be like, say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna buy that for $1, and that's the only thing.
Wait, Kurt, can I just ask you this? When you say that, what do you mean?
Listen, that's the only thing. That's the only.
Yeah, but what are you saying? Like it's not real?
No. Okay, because the thing about those this: who controls television?
No, I'm asking you. When you make that statement, are you saying it's like CGI, a hologram? What are you implying when you say that?
Well, put it like this: like I said, special effects is a motherfucker, right?
What does that mean?
What the hell you mean? What it means? All what I'm telling you is this.
I think what he's saying is kind of like, how
Special
they say that
effects is a
conspiracy
motherfucker.
that like with the man on the moon when
You're
we walk
saying
on the
she's
moon,
not a real
lot of
person?
people,
Like that's a.
No, I'm not saying that.
No, they're saying that what he's saying is that it's fictitious. Like when people say that, did we really walk on the moon, or was that a video? Was that a movie that was made?
Hold on. Yes, hold on. You're saying that she's not real.
I'm not saying that.
He's saying that she didn't get arrested. She didn't get arrested. That whole process was just made up to get a Russian arms dealer back in Russia.
So you're saying she was never incarcerated in Russia?
It's a strong possibility. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. And then you're saying the handoff on the tarmac today never happened.
The tarmac on the handoff on the tarmac?
The handoff never happened.
Listen, all what I'm saying is this, right?
Listen, I'll be honest, I don't agree with this part.
Okay, then we'll put it like this. Listen, I'm not saying.
You think Brittany Griner is CGI?
Listen, I didn't say that. I did not say that.
You said
what I'm
special effects. What's the difference?
look,
Special effects is CGI.
that God damn it. Listen, what I'm telling you is this, right? I'm not saying that Brittany Griner, I'm not saying that she's not a real person. She's real just like we are, right?
Yeah.
All what I'm telling you, all what I'm trying to say is like the situation that happened, her getting arrested. All what I'm telling you is that I truly, honestly believe that that shit didn't happen. And
Why
and
don't you say false flag?
no, listen. And we've talked about this. We've talked about this. All of the world leaders, right? You look at the motherfuckers from the United States. You look at the motherfuckers from China, Soviet Union, everybody, listen, everybody, whether they all in the goddamn same room or they doing VTC just like we doing right now, right? These motherfuckers, they have a press conference every so goddamn often, right? And I really, really, truly, honestly believe that these motherfuckers, every once in a while, they come up with an op order. Did you forget the op order that I sent you? Right? So I'm just all what the hell I'm telling you is this, right? Yeah, see, there you go. So my whole deal
No,
is
I
this.
don't understand. When you say special effects, you get mad all you want. You say special effects instead of false flag. When you say special effects,
Listen, special effects, false flags, whatever the hell that you actually really want to call it. It's the same
oh,
goddamn thing, right?
okay.
So all
Well,
what
I
I'm
can live
saying
with
is
false
this.
flag.
What part are you saying
I don't
specifically
understand.
is a
Like,
false
listen,
flag?
man, I
Yeah,
ain't gonna put up with this
if
shit.
you're saying that she was never incarcerated, then what are you saying actually happened and why? What is your define that.
Okay, then. So my whole deal is this. You know, considering who got arrested first, right? Whether it was Brittany Griner or this arms dealer guy, right? Or let's just say for shits and giggles that they both got arrested at the same time, right?
They already had American
Okay.
But
people
she
that are
was
held.
already there. She was already there playing basketball in Russia. So she was on her own contract. She was already established in that area.
They were
So how do we
leveraging
know
her because
they
of the
weren't
war.
already watching her anyway when he was doing arms deals 5-10 years ago?
Okay, then. So
They leveraged her because of the war. It's leverage.
okay, then. So again.
They're fighting the Ukraine. They put sanctions on everything. They're leveraging her.
So again, this is what I'm trying. This is what I'm saying, right? You know, we all agree that 9/11. We all agree that 9/11 was an inside job, right?
Yes,
We all in agreement to that, right?
I do.
What? Listen.
I don't know if everybody does. I do.
Okay, then. Hell, you wrote a book about it. So basically, all what I'm saying is that if 9/11 would happen 21 years ago, that was an inside job. What makes you think that this wasn't an inside job? Just to get
many of the facts and the transparency that has occurred, the interviews, the transparency, the documents, her release, everything. They was just used as leverage in the war.
So what the hell you think 9/11 was?
Way different from this.
Well, who went to war behind it though?
Sorry?
Who went to war behind it?
Behind what?
Really, Zach? We gonna go there. So
I'm saying went to war behind what? Talking about Russia or 9/11?
No, we talking about 9/11. So I just
behind 9/11, I think it was probably the U.S. Probably the U.S., the Central Treasury, Federal Reserve. I would assume the Federal Reserve, CIA, FBI.
So basically,
Department of Defense.
Probably. Okay, so all of those people that you just mentioned that was behind 9/11, right?
Also the NSA.
Okay, then. So again, right? What makes you think they went behind this shit here?
Because there was a hot war with Russia that was pretty much day for day witnessed by individuals online and on television, where this individual is being leveraged as collateral during a war where the U.S. were putting sanctions on Russia versus a false flag that precipitated.
So what did Saddam Hussein do to Kuwait?
I'm sorry?
What did Saddam Hussein do to Kuwait?
Well, many things. I'm not quite sure what you're asking. They're, like, what are you looking for?
Didn't he go over there and capture that shit?
Oh, definitely. Several times.
Okay, then. So my thing is this. So let's look at it like this. Big picture, little picture. But it's all the same picture.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Just like saying,
I don't know about that.
Hold on. We know, put like this. Because I can sit up here and ask this, this question. Do we really know? I mean, we knew or we know who knocked down the Twin Towers. But who did Bush go after? Right? We knew who knocked down the Twin Towers. But who did
Well, the
Bush
American
go
people
after?
don't.
Huh?
The American people don't.
Okay, then that's listen.
So, Kurt, you said we know who. Well, then who knocked them down?
Who knocked down the towers?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn! So you got amnesia now.
Well, you're asking me who knocked them down.
Well, shit. I mean, all of the conversations that we didn't have, right? You didn't told me that. You just sit up here and told me not even 2 minutes ago that you agreed with me that 9/11 was an inside job, which means
but
the
by
United
who?
States government knocked them shits down. So who was president?
I don't believe the United States government knocked them down.
Okay, all right.
Who do
you want to know who I know who knocked them down?
Who?
The state of Israel and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. On behalf of the United States government.
And who, and guess what? And who helped them?
We all help each other. We all help each other.
Organized them. Paid them.
We set them up.
You asked me who knocked them down. In a court of law, my friend. You asked me who knocked them down.
Hey, but I got the
is Jerry Jones Des Bryant?
He drafted it. That's his boy.
I love that. Left. He drafted it. Kurt, I love you. Kurt, I'll never stop loving you. He turned his eyes to the left and said, he drafted him.
That's his boy, right?
And so are the Saudis and the Israelis, apparently.
So it goes back to what I was trying to tell you, right?
I said, holy shit, he drafted him.
Listen, all of the world leaders, right? At one point in time, they doing the motherfucking BTC like we doing right now, right? You can laugh all you want to, right? But the thing about it though is this, right? They sit up here right now and they plotting the next fuck up to all of the motherfucking people. Whether we here in the motherfucking United States, across that goddamn water, everywhere, right? Because these motherfuckers, they already know. Remember the goddamn Georgia Guidestones. What did it say before they?
Well, it seems to me like we should be one step up. We should be one step ahead of them then.
Okay, put like this: until everybody get on the same shit of music, which we already know that ain't gonna motherfucking happen.
Why not? Why not?
Because listen, we sit up here, we arguing about who brought down the Twin Towers and whether or not Brittany Griner was over there in Russia.
Listen. Here's the problem with like that statement. none of us know what actually happened on 9/11. We have a pretty good idea. All of us kind of have a good idea that she was in Russia. With that being said, if people have like sort of like sneaky suspicions or this and that, that's like speculation. That's what that's called. And we need to come to a definitive opinion or assessment or point of view on that before we start yelling at each other as individuals who work with each other. You don't think that?
You know what?
But there
No,
is
seriously, you don't think that's reasonable?
in a
I hear
situation.
what you're saying. I hear what you're
I think in a situation like that,
She was in Russia, dog.
Whether-
I'm telling you.
Okay.
whether
She played
whether there
basketball, got
was some
millions
back,
over there from a Russian oligarch before the war started.
but
They
but
used
to
her as leverage.
determine whether there was some background activity going on, that's
Could
like
be.
you said, that's speculation, because that's something that we wouldn't be privy to. I don't think a lot of people would be privy to. It does appear that, I mean, that would be plausible. That would be very plausible and highly likable because of the two countries involved, and that how, like I was saying, Russia is so landlocked, they're willing to do any and everything and pull all the cards. They can't force China's hand because China is such a powerhouse. So they're willing to go on the other side and kind of poke the bear on the other side of the land, which supports, the U.S. supports a lot of that side, and in a lot of, as you can see, politically, political strategies are not our best, strengths. Foreign policy is not something that we've been great at over the years. And this is something to what Zach was saying, and I'm just going to wrap it up because I got to go.
Yeah.
I think that the best question to kind of ask at the end of the day, where does this leave foreign policy? Where does this leave, our diplomatic state? What would you do if you were an ambassador? What would you do in that situation? But I don't think that everybody's going to have the same answer. But I really feel like, strategy and foreign policy really needs some work, especially with this administration.
Okay, then. Well,
So Kiara, can I ask you this? Do you believe that Brittany was over in Russia?
I do believe that because I know for a fact she played basketball for a Russian league team. That was something that's
year. That's why they made their money.
And I know that I follow a lot of the WNBA players. I follow a lot of sports. I follow sports that really don't. I watch cricket. That's not a major audience, I watch everything.
But what I'm saying is it common practice? Is it or is it not common practice for WNBA players to supplement their income by playing in Russia?
Yes, because they don't make enough money here. They don't have the endorsement deals. They don't have the comfort zones of what the male like. And the thing is the reason why we say, or they make such a big cry for, is because a lot of the NBA owners own the WNBA teams.
Yeah.
So they think that it's going to be easy in their mind. It's to just transfer the money over.
They just do summer league over here for the males, but actually they make enough in their initial contract, no big deal. But there's not that sort of incentive for the females, so they have to go over an international market.
There's no incentive.
Jordan, Russia, China, they go over there and they play.
There's no incentive whatsoever. And then if you want to go even deeper, women's soccer is even worse. It is far worse. And let's just not talk about softball. We ain't even gonna bring that up.
Well, hold on. Super Smoke, I know you got to go, so let me look. Let me say this. Let me say this a little bit, right? Okay, so she played Russian basketball or Europe. She went over to Europe to play basketball to make ends meet, right? So here's the deal, right? So you come across the water with your vape. Nothing is said. You go back across the water. Nothing is said. You come back across the water. Go back. Come back. Go back. Come back. Go back. Come back. We gonna take you. right? So, and it's just like what Jasmine said, right? Like, because she had it all those other times. So why do it now? That's all. That's all. That's all what I'm asking, right? And so for me, right, it's no different than what the fuck I did or what we all did while we was in the army at one point in time, right? Put it like this: they tell us not to drink and drive, but do we really listen to what motherfuckers say, right? Because we always feel like, hey, look, I can get to where I'm going. I'm not finna fuck up nothing. I done did this shit before, right? So all what I'm asking is this, right? It's just like with and I hate to bring Jerry Jones up again, but my whole deal is this, right? Right? That photo was 65 years ago. Why bring this shit up now? So I'm just saying, 9 times out of 10, you knew she had that shit previous. So why you didn't motherfucker stop her then? So again, right? Regardless, put like this. You know what? I see how y'all see it, but my whole deal is, right? Why do it at this particular point in time, unless everybody did the goddamn BTC and said, hey, guess what? What can we do to motherfucking cause confusion? Right? So let's get this basketball player, right? It's no different than what these bastards, it's no different than what the Vietnamese did. They used kids to blow up motherfucking American soldiers, right? So you use whatever is possible to get the motherfucking advantage, because it's just for the simple fact. I will always ask the question: who got motherfucking arrested first? Did Brittany Griner get arrested first, or did this doggone arms dealer get arrested first? Right? This shit is always gonna be in motherfucking play. Right?
Well, like they say, all is fair in love and war. And on that, I got to go, y'all.
All right,
I'll see y'all later.
Boo, I love you. It's always a great conversation.
All right, love you, man. Y'all be safe. Y'all take care. Until next time. Peace out.
All right now.
Now, Kurt,
So
you still
what you
on?
got to say?
What now?
I said, what you got to say?
About what?
Anything? Any closing remarks?
Quite frankly, I thought you were a little shot out. Like, on some things, I think like point of view is important. And there's a lot of things that I think like you have a great point of view on. And you're a great mentor, a great individual. But some of this stuff, I'm like, well, I don't think that really like, translates. Like everything is not everything. You know what I mean? Like, what do you think? Like, how do you feel about the podcast?
This podcast.
I can see you were getting frustrated. I don't want you to be frustrated with me, but I'm going to speak my mind.
Never that. You know what? I'm gonna tell you. And this actually really started.
Hold on. Should we do this on the podcast, or should we do it on a phone call in the podcast?
No. Let's. I want to do this here, right?
Okay.
Because it started, and I'll be brief, but it started late yesterday, right? I actually really I come back from the gym, and then I ate some fries or whatever, right? And I got sick. I really got sick. It wasn't nothing that I had to actually really go to the emergency room for. I just actually really think.
But you were feeling real sick though.
Yeah, I was like, you know, if I would
Hate
have
that
had a
feeling.
bucket, if I would have had a bucket beside my bed and fries and every goddamn thing else that I had would have came out. But the thing about it though is this: I did what I needed to do to actually really make myself better. And then by later on that evening, I really felt really good or whatever. I got a great last night was like the best sleep that I've actually really had probably like in probably like a month and a half. I'm not gonna sit up here and bullshit you. It is what it is. But when I woke up this morning, right, knowing knowing that we was gonna have this podcast today, but then it was just for the simple fact that I knew that I had to go to the gym because it was what the fuck that I was actually really trying to accomplish. And I'll be the first one to tell you, I really didn't feel like going to the gym because of how I felt late yesterday, right? But once I actually got into the gym, and once I actually got in there and did what I had to do, then I went in there and I actually really accomplished the goal that, for the most part, that I really didn't think that I could actually really accomplish. I ran, I did, put like this, I did 24 miles of cardio in 5 days. I did 15,000 reps, full body, in 5 days, the most that I've ever done, right? So I knew that today was going to be a special day because every time that me and you do a podcast, we always in agreement. So I knew, so just know, coming in today, I knew that this shit was going to happen. I knew that coming in, right? Call it ESPE, call it being psychic, call it whatever the fuck that you will. But I knew going in that it was going to be tension. Because it's just for the simple fact, me and you, we see eye to eye on a lot of shit. And I have no problem with that. Right? But it's just like for the simple fact that regardless if Super Smoot comes in or not, I won't put like this. If we really gonna do this doggone broadcast, this podcast, right? We can't agree on every goddamn thing. Right? Because
that's what makes First Take great, right?
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing about Brittany Griner. When I first heard the story, I thought to myself, "This is bullshit. This is bullshit. This is crazy. This is this." Then I looked into it, and the major media places I look for information to kind of gain my opinion and the news sources. I said, "Wow, I kind of have a different point of view," and it started hitting me like I actually have a different point of view on this one, not on every story, just on this one.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Well, fuck, this is gonna be unpopular, but I'm gonna have to say it."
Yeah. So this particular show, podcast, whatever the fuck that you actually really want to call it, right? This was needed because let's think about it. Everything else that we hit, every other show that we did, we agreed, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
But the thing about it though, me and you was actually really going back and forth. We actually really got a little heated, and then I brought in another retired Army veteran, right? She brought in her piece, right? So this particular podcast, or this particular, whatever the fuck you want to call it, this was needed. And then who's to say? Maybe that's the reason why I got sick yesterday. you know, my thing is,
I'm a believer in that. It's a very good possibility.
yeah. So my thing is that
I
I
woke up
don't
this
take
morning at
nothing.
6 a.m. I woke
Yeah.
up this morning at 6 a.m. on a nationally syndicated radio show and talked about the same thing. And as I was talking about it, I was getting backlash. And these are guys who I agree with all the time. And I was like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It
I
like it
don't
seemed
take.
odd to me. Like,
Yeah. I don't
but
take.
I
Listen.
believe what I was saying. I'm
Yeah.
telling you.
Yeah. I don't take nothing. I don't take nothing for granted. I didn't take nothing for granted 20 years ago, and I most definitely don't take nothing for granted now. Think about it for a minute, Zach. Today is December 9th,
Mm.
2023, right? Guess what the fuck is finna happen in roughly maybe 100 days? I turned motherfucking 50 years old, right?
Wow.
I
Big
turned 50
milestone.
years old, and I still go to the gym and I work out like it's nobody's business, right? I can, at mama, just go ahead and say, at 50.
Kurt, I'm going to give you the floor, but you see the
Yeah,
clock at 2:01? At
yeah,
2:05, I got to bounce.
yeah, but you know, I already said
The
what I
floor
got
is
to say.
yours. No. The floor is no. You got 4 minutes. The floor is
Yeah,
yours.
but my thing is this: I'm 50 years old. I can still bench press well over 300 pounds.
Mhm.
I can run. I put it like this: I can run a 16-minute 2 mile, right? You know, and my whole deal is that shit really ain't changed for me, right? And so I look at life a hell of a
Mhm.
lot. I look at life a hell of a lot better than what I did when I was 39. And then my sweet sitting there, she back in the background. But my thing is this though. My thing is this. I don't take shit for chance. Anything that happens to me, I actually really dictated it like, okay, what the fuck this going to actually really mean for me the next day? This particular show was needed because the thing about it was this: regardless who see this, if they watch the other previous podcast, they was like, well, damn, these motherfuckers, they always agree. This is the very first one that they say, damn, they actually really did disagree on some shit. This is what the fuck needed to happen. It was
There's a
supposed to
major
happen.
benefit for the viewer. It's a like for consumption for the viewer. It's a major benefit. I would concur. I would concur on that.
So hey, it is what it is. So guess what? We can pick this up whenever y'all want to pick it up again. I'm pretty sure.
Shit, I'm good to go every other day. I'm good to go on the phone anytime you want to talk. You know, I'm your homeboy. Whenever you want to talk, it is what it is. Nothing but love. But
Yeah,
I agree with you. In a conversation like this, on a production like this, that sort of dynamic is imperative to have, like sort of this back and forth. To
yeah,
have sort of,
exactly. We need
you
we
know,
like this.
there's something
I
there.
think like
We
this.
don't need to
It's
agree on everything.
yeah,
Shit.
yeah. It's okay for us to agree, but I really think that people need to see that we don't always look at it the exact same way.
I
And so
love it.
this was needed. This
There
one
it
was
is.
needed.
It was meant to happen.
Yeah. So as I always say, hey, guess what? Tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell your mama, tell your daddy, tell Big Dan, tell Big Bertha, your uncle, your auntie, your grandma, your papa, your meemaw, motherfucker next door, cross the street, round the corner. Papa's Harris, aka Crazy Uncle. We gonna holler at y'all next time. Zach, let's keep this shit going.
Ramp. Let's do it. Rambo Zach out.
All right now. We gonna holler at you. I'll holler at you, dog. Peace.
Peace, brother. Love you.
Love you too.